Hi, this is Michelle with Pink and Maine, and today we're going to make some cards with our October 2019 Crafty Courtyard Box. The theme is encouraging words. This is the exclusive 6x6 stamp set that you get in the box, and it has some beautiful sentiments that I just know you'll be reaching for all the time, such as tomorrow is a new day. Let your faith be bigger than your fear. Life is tough, but darling, so are you. I am here for you always. You are loved, the best is yet to come, and a couple more. So I just wanted to go over the stamp set a little bit. We do have an unboxing of the box on another video if you'd like to check that out so you can see exactly what's inside. There's also this Pastel Dreams 6x6 paper pad, and these are the papers that we're going to use on the cards today. These are all sorts of stripes, chevrons, dots, and plaids in these beautiful pastel colors. For our first card, we're going to be using the embossing folder that's inside the box, and this one, I call it Falling Dots. And if you can see, the package shows it's a little better. It's going to emboss all these little dots that kind of fall like confetti across your card. And we're also going to be using some of the sequins from the exclusive sequin mix. So I've already got my card base here. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, your basic A2 size card. And I've used our stitched rectangles set 1 and 2. They layer together real nicely and give that nice 1/8 of an inch border around when you layer them together. I've used the beautiful awning colored cardstock. That's that nice pretty coral color. And with the light blue Sunny Sky cardstock, I've cut it out and then embossed it with that embossing folder so you can see those dots. So we're going to glue those down like this. I'm going to have a horizontal opening card. And I stamped the best is yet to come in Versamark ink, and I've embossed it with some silver embossing powder. And we're just going to adhere this down in the corner. Lastly, I'm going to take some liquid adhesive and we're going to glue on a few of these sequins. And there we have, it's a clean and simple card, but it has some impact and dimension using the embossed sentiment as well as the embossed cardstock. For our second card, we're going to make a shaker card. The sequin mixes are perfect for shaker cards. Okay, for our shaker card, you're going to need a frame, and what I've cut here is our reverse scallop square frame. You're going to need a sheet of acetate, which I've cut to fit behind our frame. I have a backing piece for our frame, okay? And then I have a panel to go on the card that I've cut from our stitched rectangles set 1 dies. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our acetate window. On the back of my frame, I've already added some two-sided, double-sided adhesive. So I'm just gonna peel the backing off of those and glue the acetate to the frame. Now I have the acetate adhered to our frame. And the next thing we need to do is add some sort of foam tape or foam to raise this frame up off the card. I'm gonna use these adhesive foam strips by Doris, and I love them because they're about 1/8 of an inch wide, so they'll fit on this small of a frame without showing on the side. And you get 33 in a package, and you can find these on our website under the supplies. Now I have my foam adhesive all the way around the back of my frame. You want to make sure when you're putting the adhesive on your frame that you cover all the corners and that everything is nice and closed in like a box. You don't want to have any openings, because if you have openings, then whatever you put in your shaker card will shake right out of there. So we've done that, and I'm going to put my frame to the side for a second, and we're going to fill our shaker card. Now I'm going to use a couple of these heart buttons that come in the box along with the sequins. So we'll put some of those, and I've already adhered down our cardstock onto our card base. So we'll just shake some of these sequins onto the frame. And if you keep everything close to the center, you can spread it out a little bit. Oops, one's trying to get away. We're going to turn our frame over. I've removed the backing from the adhesive, and we're just going to line it up and place it down on that backing. And make sure you seal the adhesive all the way around. There, and now we have our simple shaker card. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now we're going to add our sentiment. You are loved. I stamped in Versamark and embossed it with some silver embossing powder. I'm going to put some adhesive on the top that's going to stick to the bottom of the frame here. But where it hangs over the card, I need to add a little bit of that foam adhesive so it sticks up the same height as our shaker frame. Now we're just going to adhere this down to our frame. And we have a lovely shaker card. For our next card, I've cut some card bases again with our stitched rectangle set 1 and set 2 for some layering pieces. I've layered that really pretty pearl green cardstock with this plaid that has just a hint of green running through it. So I think it brings that out. I'm going to use one of these gorgeous silver doilies on this card, and we're just going to put it up to the top right-hand corner. And then I've got this sentiment, let your faith be bigger than your fear, stamped on one of our fishtail banner dies that I cut out of the pink cardstock. And I'm going to pop that up a little bit with some foam adhesive so it adds a little bit of dimension. Okay, so I have some foam dots, and we're just going to adhere this down where our doily just comes out around the edge there, like so. And then I want to add just a couple of our embellishments to this. I'm going to tuck this little green button with hearts there. I think I'll put a little white heart button up here. Maybe one down here at the bottom. And then I'm going to use some of these beautiful green iridescent rhinestones to add just a little bit more sparkle and shine. I'm going to put one up here at the top, and I like to kind of tuck it under. It just adds some interest if you tuck a couple embellishments up underneath. And then I'm going to do one here on the side. So we'll just glue those down like that. For our next card, I have stamped "Life is Tough, but Darling, So Are You," and cut it out of the stitch circle dies, and I've cut a scallop circle to go behind it. I have 2 of the card size panels cut out of this plaid and this peach polka dot. And I've cut these with our stitch rounded rectangles. Sometimes I just like that rounded edge just to give a little different look. Now I'm gonna glue the plaid down to the card, but for interest, I'm gonna cut an angle out of this top one. This one's gonna go on the top. So I'm gonna start about an inch, inch and a half down on the right-hand side and just cut angularly down with the scissors, and use this top piece for another card. You can make a similar card with this top piece, but we're gonna use the bottom, and we're just gonna adhere that right to the top of that plaid. And that angular cut just adds a little more interest than always being up and down or across. So I'm ready to add our sentiment. I've added some foam adhesive, and I'm just going to add it down at the bottom of this angled line here, just almost centered on the card. And lastly, to embellish, I'm just going to put some of these iridescent rhinestones around. And one thing to remember about adding little embellishments like this is keeping in odd numbers is always appealing to the eye. And then also doing things in triangular patterns is also appealing to the eye. So we'll just add 5 there. And there you have just a quick and simple card that comes together but looks really nice and finished. For our last card, I have stamped that I am here for you always and cut a little fishtail banner or pennant end out of one end with my scissors, and then I layered that on some pink cardstock just so it would stand out a little bit more against my pattern paper. I've cut out from our scalloped rectangle dies a yellow backing, and then from the stitched rectangle set 1, I've cut this really pretty plaid. I think this is one of my favorite patterns in the paper pad is this plaid. I've cut about a 1.5 inch strip of paper that we're going to put along the bottom of that plaid. Now to get the stitching around it, I did cut out a panel from this polka dot, and I just cut 1.5 inches from it. So I also have this much more that I could make another card with. So we're just going to adhere this . So I have adhered the yellow scallop piece down to my card base, and I have this piece here where I've adhered the polka dots to the plaid. Before I glue this down to the card, I want to add some twine. And what I do is, you can take your twine and you can wrap it completely around this over and over and over again, because I want to get about 3 going across. But to save on twine, I'll show you my little trick. I put some adhesive about where I'm going to wrap the twine, just a little bit on each side here. And then we take the twine, and you're gonna start it there, and you stick it down to the adhesive. You're gonna wrap it over on the front. On the back, stick it to the adhesive, but instead of going all the way across the back, we're just gonna turn it. Like twist it like that to go across the front. And then we come to this other side and we're going to do the same thing. And we just do that a couple of times. So you're only using the amount of twine that it takes to go across the front of the card. And we're not wasting twine making it go all the way across the back each time. So now we have our twine going across the front here, and I'm going to glue this panel down to our card. And now I put some adhesive on the back of our sentiment, and I'm just going to add this to the edge up here towards the top. For an embellishment, I wanted to use this cute little yellow button that has the little hearts on it. And I've threaded the twine through one of the holes, and I'm going to push the rest of the twine up underneath the twine that's on the card. And then we're going to send this side so that we're actually tying the button onto the twine that's on the card. There we go. So we've threaded our button, and we're just going to tie it in a little simple bow. And here's our final card. Just really cute with that little button accent with the twine. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the cards that we've made with the encouraging words October 2019 Crafty Courtyard Box. Until next time, keep living the creative life.